Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Bashor 99 Club. Good to have you with us today, and I'm excited about this as well. Good friend Sean McCrindle, former co-worker Sean McCrindle. We're going to try and keep it to a half an hour this because we're going to have some fun. The 99 Club, as you know, this is your opportunity to help us out. We're looking for 99 friends who are willing to contribute $99 to support the programs of the Bashor mission, providing help for today and hope for tomorrow. You get yourself a shirt, you get yourself listed on the website, and even more important, you get yourself invested in what we're doing here at Bashor Children's Home. Go to bashor.org. You've done it. Mm-hmm. You've done it. And they found a t-shirt for it. And just click the icon. You'll be a part of bashor.org. And you'll have our appreciation as well. We want to say thank you to Patrick Industries. Better living starts with better materials. Patrick Industries, one of the underwriters for our Bashor 99 Club broadcast. As I said, I've been looking forward to this conversation. Good friend Sean McCrindle is here. He is the president and CEO of Bashor Children's Home, and we're going to do a reminiscing. We're going to walk through 2022, look a little bit forward to 2023. But Sean, it's December. I remember what it was like. This is the time of year where lots of great things are happening, but you also kind of go, whoa, that was a ride.
Yes. Yeah. Well, one of the things is just last week I had a timeout with our staff, and I was sitting down and preparing for it. And one of the best things I think about that is you tend to look at your year and for the first time realize all the things that you have done, because you're just busy doing more and more and kind of picking things apart. And so it was like, whoa, we really need to celebrate some of these things.
And I wanted to kind of begin at the ending. Because of the two things that happened toward the end of the year. One is that staff interaction that you have, which is, it's a great thing that Don started when he was here, Don Phillips.
That was good.
And then you've kind of picked it up and run with it and added some things to it. And I think the point you made is pretty important. You get so engaged in taking care of kids, and you get so engaged in the ever-changing programs and the landscape you see out there. And it's sometimes hard just to step back and say, look what's happened. And you've made it intentional. You've made it to where, look, we are going to stop back and look at what we've done.
Yeah.
What's that you think means especially to the staff?
But I think it's important because, especially this year, we've had so many really neat things happen. And so for our staff, and especially our staff who are right there in front day in, day out, it's kind of like working with the kids. If you're right in front of the kid, you don't see all those little changes. But when I get to come down and see those kids, and I've had some time in between, I can see these huge advances in these kids. Well, it's kind of the same way with this. Going down to the staff and being able to say, guys, you need to see some of these amazing things you've done.
Yeah.
You see them really pause, and then it's neat to watch them celebrate, because you don't get to cheer a whole lot. You're just busy. So it's really good.
And so you couple that with the annual Christmas party for the kids that the community board members, others are involved in as well. But what a special night that is.
Yeah. One of the things that was there were so many great things about that night, but one of the things that was really special to me and really special to staff is a group of our girls from a couple of different programs actually got together. They formed a dance team, and these girls woke up early, drugged their staff to go press their dance. And I watched a bunch of girls stand there like every high school kid who is nervous before a performance and then go out and nail it. And the whole group erupted afterwards.
Yeah.
All the kids were completely into it and erupted in applause. And those girls were 10 feet tall when they walked out.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
So when you get that kind of applause from your peer group, from people who in the beginning may go, oh, wow, what are you doing? And then, wow, this is what happens. And it's a chance for the kids to exact a little bit of revenge. Yeah. Normally, staff is waking up the kids early, and they're right. Well, we have to do this. Now the kids are doing the staff. Hey, we're pulling you into it, and then just the community investment, and especially from your board members. Yeah, it's an opportunity for the board to see the work that they've put into the kids and the programs and those kind of things. And, I've, in my case here, that was one of the things that delayed me is that, I mean, you're certainly believing it, but then when you see it, it means so much more.
Yeah. Yeah. And, the great thing is just being able to come together and have a great meal, enjoy each other. But also, a lot of our kids, we have groups of kids read the Christmas story out of the Bible. And that is a really huge thing because some of these kids came in and they were like, I do not want to hear about that. And now they're reading it in front of people and proud of reading it. And I think the big thing is we get to watch them just be the kids they really are inside, what their hearts really are. And it's not all this other stuff. And, at any time, anything can happen at Bashor. Somebody can have some difficulties. But for the most part, down there, the kids are just having fun, enjoying each other and cheering each other on, which is a really cool thing.
So December is a time when both staff and the kids rise to the occasion.
Oh, yeah.
It just, they make the end of the year just something special.
Yeah. Well, and our volunteers too, like we had a group insert come out and they decorate the place like crazy, make sure it looks good. Obviously our cooking staff do a great job. And then, even the last couple of days, we have had armies of volunteers coming in and wrapping gifts for kids to make sure that when they wake up that day, they are one, blown away, and two, realize just how valuable.
So you don't have to help with the wrapping anymore?
They don't even, they're like, hey, you can go down and watch a little, but touch nothing. Yeah.
Nice
skills.
Here too. So, we do want to thank another underwriter here. We want to say thanks to Genesis Products, elevating environments for work, home, and play. That's Genesis Products. And, you get great volunteers. You get companies who really step up. Genesis is pretty special.
Oh, yeah, they are. They're one of those places that, early on when they came and said, we want to do some volunteer stuff for you guys. And we're like, okay. And we're trying to think of some things to do. And it became evident right away that all we had to do is say, we're interested in this, go. And they will so outperform our expectations.
Oh, they're like a swarm of locusts.
Yeah. They're relentless. They're like, you think this is cool? Watch what we do with this. And quite frankly, some of the people have been involved in our Christmas wrapping and wanted to make sure that it was just really special. And one of the ladies is connected to somebody at Genesis, Carrie Hazelbaker, rounded up a whole bunch of people and said, we're gonna not just wrap gifts, but we're gonna have these awesome bags that they go into these kids. And it is amazing.
Now these moms know that on Christmas morning it's just gonna
absolute chaos. But they know that those kids will go, wow. It's the wow factor that's important because some of these kids just haven't had gifts of their own. And to be so overwhelmed. And at some point, we have so many people who want to help and support our kids and they get stuff for them. And at some point I said, oh, is it too much? And this little, I'm not going to say old lady, this little wise lady from one of the churches who was rapping. I said, yes. I was like, is it, sometimes I think maybe do we give them too much? And she said, if God wants to bless these kids, what kids deserve it more? And who are you to get in his way?
Yeah.
And I was in my place. I said nothing else about it.
Lessons learned.
Yep.
Well, and I think that's one of the things that, when you look at some of the things that these kids have been through, some of the family challenges that they've survived, that the families have survived, there's no such thing as too much.
No.
So even if it's one time while they're at Bashor Children's Home, it'll be something they reflect on and look back on. So let's look at 2022, your first full year as the president and CEO. As you look back, as you get that chance to catch your breath, what are some of the things that really stand out for you?
Yeah, well, one of the things that I think is important to realize, and most people here know it, is I kind of use threes. I work in threes because that's about the limit of my memory.
Well, because your father-in-law is a pastor, we preach in threes.
Yeah. So you use the term service excellence, fiscal management for our long-term success, and then targeted growth. So those are kind of categories to look at. And really this year on our service excellence, that's where it comes down. What are you doing for kids? And the list literally got so long that I had to pare it down. And really what it comes down to is what made us really excellent this year is despite the fact that we had less staff than we budgeted, we served more kids than we budgeted, which means that those people said, this is going to be hard. We don't have as many people as we'd like to have, but we have to help more kids. And that wasn't us driving that. That was them saying we can help one more. And so what came out of that was opening our new amazing facility for survivors of trafficking, alternative school expansion in some pretty big ways, big aftercare and community-based service expansion, starting a day treatment program to help kids so that they don't have to be expelled from school, among many other things. And it was amazing because we started so many things and didn't even realize busy going
you
to
keep
the next
leaving everything on the list. It's like, oh no, wait, we got to add this. No, we got to add this.
So. And during that time, we still, we had more kids and less staff, but we had some of the lowest numbers of our incidents, our high acuity incidents with kids, which means even with all that, the staff were doing it better with the kids and the kids were responding. And I can guarantee, I asked them several times, the kids weren't getting easier. I think we have just come together in a better way.
And it's not to elevate one program over another, but this was the headline, the kind of news it generates across the country. But your survivor program has probably succeeded beyond what even you thought it would be at the beginning stages.
The thing is you realize just how much goes into those girls needing so many different layers. And that's where I feel like our spiritual life programs are so key, because learning how to forgive other people, forgive yourself in circumstances that those girls have been seems almost impossible to me. And yet they know, they come to a point where they know that they have to do that to be free themselves in their minds. And watching some of these girls bloom and just come to a new point in their lives where you go, they are so strong now that they are going to be able to withstand things I don't think I could.
And it's been an education opportunity, I think, for constituents and folks here in the Elkhart County as well, because they came to the realization through this program at Bashor, hey, this isn't just, it's not just happening in big cities. It's not just happening in Eastern Europe. This is happening in our backyard. And this is an opportunity for us to address it.
Well, and the kids teach us more and more just how much this stuff is out there. And you always go, okay, I don't want to overplay things, but even at the beginning of this, I did not think we had as big of a problem, even with working in this field, until kids literally taught us there is a lot more going on than you think there is. And boy, being able to respond and have a building that is specifically designed to help them is huge. We have people coming, not just from Indiana, but from throughout the country to see the building that we've developed, because they're trying to develop programs like this. And one of the greatest things is those girls especially, we always say, if anybody's going to come look at your place, you have to give them permission, because it's their place and they have to be safe. They're always happy to do it, but we always ask them.
And it was a building built almost entirely with community support.
And the amazing thing is our community responded in such a big way during COVID, and said, we're going to rally around this thing. And when we kept kind of increasing what we wanted to do and make sure we had enough to serve as many kids as we needed to, the community kept saying, we're going to support you more and more, and just overwhelmed by the way our community comes around kids.
That's at the top of the list here on campus. But another thing that's happened, it's been an ongoing process, but in 2022, it seems to have exploded. You've taken the Bashor mission and you've just spread it out into the community. Home-based services, being in the schools, providing help through the school programs. Talk a little bit about that and the value of being able to extend beyond. It's a beautiful 160 acres, but being able to go beyond this is a real plus.
Well, I mean, one of the greatest things about serving a mission is your biggest thing is to try to make yourself not necessary. And we're really good at our residential. We're well known for it, well respected for it, and I don't see it going away. But one of the things we want to do is say, if there is a way for us to partner with other agencies to work at growing our services and make it so that kids in our community don't need long-term residential, that's absolutely what we got to try to do. And that's a big goal. But boy, it'd be nice to say, okay, our kids in our local community won't need to stay in residential long-term. We may need to bring them in, help them get some treatment, and then have really good services and safety so that they don't need to be there for a long time.
Sean, I wanted to take an opportunity to talk a little bit about some of your influences. I've said for a long time in this community, I'm prejudiced. I got to work for the man for 10 years. I think Don Phillips is about as good a leader as I've ever seen anywhere. But one of the things that I think happened here is that Don became the godfather, if you will, of community collaboration. He was the guy who said, look, why do we have all these silos? And was able to put things together within the community and create partnerships. You've taken that ball and you've sprinted with it. Can you kind of talk about what your outlook is, where collaborations and partnerships come?
Yeah, I'm more of a plotter than a sprinter, unless there's a bear. If there's a bear, then
there you go.
Yeah. Well, one of the things is, Don, Candy, Kevin Deary, and a lot of people in the CEOs in the community decided there could be a different way. And that was an interest for a long time. But just to say we can do stuff together. And right now we have a huge turnover of new CEOs in our community. And there's opportunity in
You're the senior guy almost now.
How scary is that? The nice thing though is the people who by majority gone into those roles are people from this community. So they understand this community and we know each other. And so one of the things that's happening is me and some of the other CEOs are making sure that we meet right away and we say, look, let's try to do things together. Let's not try to, duplicate services, and let's be in it for each other so that if I can help with that, with something they're doing, some of our people can provide expertise. If we can provide resources rather than us try to do it, we're better to do it all together.
Another thing I wanted to ask you about is your DNA. Because when you look, your father, the late Marty McCrindle, tremendous public servant through the fire department and then through teaching after you retired from the fire department. Your father-in-law, Mel Shetler, a tremendous faith leader here in this community, established Maple City Chapel. How much of seeing that, experiencing that, living with that has shaped your view in terms of how you move forward?
Yeah, well, I mean, the big thing for me is both of those men have tremendous faith in people and their ability. And it's relentless. And for my dad, whether it was on the fire department or whether it was working with kids, he had this way of just seeing who they could be. And with my father-in-law, Mel, Maple City Chapel started a place for wayward kids who were, and basically they had to start their own church because they got kicked out of every church they were in. And, it's funny because I look at that and I go, boy, it's still what we're doing today. Is we're going, kids who really have rough lives, and it's hard to have them in certain situations. We got to find a way to give them hope and a belief in their future. And so both those guys really have, really are giants in my mind for me personally.
Well, I believe they're giants in the community. And for you to have had the influence of both of them in your life is a real plus.
I needed both.
Well, the other thing is we'd say is, hey, don't mess it up.
That's right. That's right.
You got a double legacy there.
Right.
You can't afford to drop the ball. Hey, just a reminder, this is the 99 Club for Bashor Children's Home. The 99 Club, we're looking for 99 donors to donate $99 a piece to support the missions of Help for Today and Hope for Tomorrow here at Bashor Children's Home. We'll give you a fine t-shirt. We'll give you a whole bunch of thanks. But what kids in this program will give you is a sense of satisfaction. So give us a call or go to the website. Go to bashor.org, click the icon, and join the 99 Club. Do it before the end of the year. Let's get to 99 completely before the end of the year. We also want to say thank you to another one of our underwriters for the 99 Club. That's Obico Corporation, your custom sewing manufacturing specialists. And Obico, those people, they've been around a long, long time with Bashor Children. So that they've been long supporters. They were doing it when I was here, and we're certainly appreciative of that. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about what I see as an explosion in community support, not just here, but it's Bashor that we're talking about. But one of the great myths in the RV industry or in RV country is that, well, those people aren't benevolent. They don't. And you've experienced firsthand that is anything but the truth.
Yeah. The one thing I always say to our staff is, whether we have to be worth the contract. So whether that's with the state or with local government government, things like that. But also when it comes to people who are partnering with you and donating, and everybody reaches in their pocket and pulls out $1 so that you can help kids with it, you have just signed a contract to do the best you can with that $1. And our businesses in this community, I wish every community had what we have. I mean, these are rumble people sometimes, and I think sometimes maybe they understand our kids because they're a little oppositional defiant themselves. But they come out in big ways to solve major problems, and they don't just talk about it. They throw their money at it, they throw their time at it, and they throw their talent at it. And we have what I like to call raving fans here. Those are people who don't just come in and say, hey, we'll give you some money and thanks a lot. They come in and say, we're in. And they become partners of us. And once they get just a little bit of this, raving fans for our kids.
Now, one of the things that I think that some of these folks, especially because some of them are rather young, first generation success, et cetera, that has changed the game a little bit in the nonprofit world. And for some of us, it was a little bit uncomfortable in the beginning, but I think the accountability has made us stronger. These are people who are used to getting, for lack of a better term, bang for their buck. They want to see outcomes. They want to see what you're doing with the money. They want to see, is this program working, going from A to B to C? And that kind of involvement, in addition to rolling up their sleeves and going to work or writing out the check or whatever, has also been a plus for nonprofits.
Yeah. Well, and I think a big thing is one of the things that's happened over the last several years is companies have realized, you can only grow based on your foundation. Your foundation's your people. And so as they have grown, I mean, a lot of these have grown like crazy. They realize that there's a lot of complications in their employees' lives. They have challenges with children. They have challenges with their own issues of life. It's a different understanding, and they realize how critical these services are for the people who are working at their places.
Change the names to protect the innocent, but have you got a favorite donor story or donor experience story?
Well, man, there's so many. Okay, so what there's a couple of them. One of them actually comes from a lady who has been supporting this agency for probably 50 years. I mean, just, she has been backing this place. And one day she called me just to make sure that with some of the things that were going on in the Methodist Church, she wanted to make sure that all the churches were going to be in for Bashor, no matter what changes happen there.
Yeah.
And I told her, I said, we have had great conversations. All the churches have been very supportive of us. And she said, I will go to every church if I have to and tell them they better be behind you,
Wow.
And she has put her money where her mouth is. And it's not like it's huge amounts of money. It's because she has invested every year, 50 years. And she does it because she really believes in what this is. And the bigger thing was, I'll support you guys financially, but I will tell everybody who needs to know they better be behind you guys because these kids need
so
them.
That advocacy means a whole lot more.
Yeah. And then the second story is we were reopening our shelter. There was a fabulous donor who's been a huge support of lots of big initiatives here. And we actually had gotten to the point where we had got all the funding we needed to get the shelter ready to go. And so as she came, we told her, hey, we appreciate you. We'll get a hold of you, but we don't need your money right now. And she didn't know what to do with that. But that's where being Did
your development director faint when you said that?
Oh, he was the one who said it.
Good.
He was the one.
Right.
And I was so proud of him because it's like that, and what that did, first of all, was it made that person know, we always need support, but we are never going to shade it. And so what did she do? She walked out and she said, well, I was going to give you this, but I'm giving you this more and you're taking it whether you like it or not. Basically, that was the effect of it. And it has started a great relationship because, Steve was very transparent in that. And she knew we would only ask for what was needed. And is through in big ways.
Oh, that's terrific. And it's great to see that kind of support. I want to take what time we have left to talk about two challenges for 2023. Well, actually, a challenge and a celebration. But first, we want to say one more thank you, and that's to the good folks out at New Way, Jan and Andy and their whole team terrific people. New Way Construction, we build on relationships. So thanks to them also for supporting the 99 podcast. Sean, a celebration is on the way. We're going to talk about that to bring it home. But first, I want to talk about a challenge. And it's a challenge that, well, you share it with the industry. You share it with businesses and retailers here in Elkhart County. You need workers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, one of the biggest things, talking about celebrations this year, we had a very unexpected celebration. I think it's one of the foundations on a lot of our other successes. Despite the difficulties in staffing, we had the lowest rate of turnover in our direct care staff we've ever had in the history of our agency.
Oh man, that's worth a high five.
Yeah. Woo. Not here. The supervisors who are supervising those people and the people who are standing beside each other are doing a better job of supporting each other than ever. And so those people are saying to each other, it's a rough day, but tomorrow's going to be great. Watch what this kid does.
So translated that, Mike Granick, you did a great job.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, I just get to celebrate it, and it's amazing because if we would have had our normal turnover, we couldn't have served as many kids. And so they are living the mission, and it's making more people in. And we're becoming very relentless on this. We realize there are so many kids that we could do a great job with if we can get more of those great people on our bus. And we have such a good team right now, they'll learn from the best.
Well, and the good part about it is your staff is the best recruiters.
They are absolutely. And, we try to bribe them to bring in their friends. But they will say to people, look, you are good at this. And they have convinced some people to move their careers, and those people do not regret it. They love coming and doing this. I always say, like, I wouldn't known what to do if I couldn't show up every day to have kids get mad at me and cuss at me and whatever.
Our guest last week said, look, somebody who already works here said, you better get here. You need to be here. And he's fallen in love with it. And, it's terrific. So, that opportunity. And again, you do the kind of things you have to do. Things like we talked about at the beginning of the program of, hey, let's sit down. Let's take an opportunity to celebrate.
Yeah. And I think as people dip their toe in this, they fall right in the water. I mean, there are some people who go, this isn't for me. Yeah. But so many people, me included, I planned on being here a year. I was 21. I'm clearly not 21 anymore. And these kids will make you fall in love with doing this. They'll try to push you away, but it just brings you closer.
And the memories that they are so terrific. So speaking of memories, 100 years of going from Bashor Orphanage to Bashor Boys Home to Bashor Children's Home. 100 years for this campus. What a special celebration.
Yeah. We have two of our board members who are just championing and taking on everything. Marcia Eppers and Stacy Anagnos are just.
This is my shock look that Marcia and Stacy have taken over.
They jump into everything that's. Hey, we got this huge, crazy thing we want to do. We got it, And they are doing so many amazing things. But they're planning 4 major events, and just in true our board fashion, they realize the value of the people. So the first event is a staff event, and they said we are going to start in January by celebrating with our staff. We're going to have the bishop out here in April for a very special event. They're going to have a large donor event and a huge Christmas celebration. And sprinkled throughout that, there's a whole lot that's going to happen.
It's a year-long celebration.
Yeah. We're gonna party.
So you go back to the days of John and Emmeline Bashor and what they created. And it's interesting because, we talk about the founding fathers and, they crafted the Constitution, did some other things in such a way that, no matter who comes along and how much we complain, you can't screw it up.
Right.
So sooner or later, it's going to right itself. John and Emmeline did the same thing with the gift of 160 acres for the children's home. No matter who's come along, whatever the case may be, we don't know if we need another children's home or whatever. Well, too bad, because this is what the codicil says.
Right.
They were so good at establishing this that it's been a continuing gift for Elkhart County.
Yeah. And I had that conversation with our staff. I said, someday this was this couple with a farm and a farmhouse who we have this. And I said, today, the things we are doing today, the things they will be doing 100 years now, if we do things right and we keep the path going the right direction, if we could see it, we wouldn't even be able, we would be so blown away. Just like if they walked our campus today, they'd be so blown away by the impact that they their choice. And we're in the midst of that. We're setting the pace for the next 100 years.
And I've got a lot of great memories out here, meeting you, of course, I have to put that in. Yeah. Mike Garding let me fall a little too far off the Tampa pole. But the biggest thing was when we had someone in the community who made sure that we got John Emmeline's original Bible, original family Bible. I think of all the great gifts and great donations we got during my tenure here, that's still my favorite. And we've done a good job of making sure that's protected.
Yeah. We just
part of our heritage.
Yeah. We just put it in a brand new case for the 100 year to have it displayed for 100 years. And so it's in a beautiful case, and we're very proud of it.
So we're proud of the history, but we're proud of where we're going forward.
Yep.
2022 is pretty good, wasn't it?
It's a good one. We're going to have an even better one next year.
Sean, looking forward to it. Looking forward to being a part. We thank you. So Bashor 99, go to bashor.org, click the icon, join the 99 Club. We want to say thanks to our underwriters, Obico, New Way, Patrick Industries, and Genesis Products. Thanks to Irish Dave for flipping the knobs and making Sean and I look reasonably good on Facebook Live.
Good luck.
I said reasonably good now. This is Vince Turner saying good night, everybody.
Nice.
Of course, I have to go and whack it out.